Hi, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. I just wanted to take a minute of your time to talk to you about something that I think is really important. As you all know, if you've listened to my videos, I'm a strong proponent of people moving forward in life. I really don't believe that it makes a lot of sense for you to live your life looking in the rearview mirror. I think it's important for you to move forward in your life and to try to find a positive meaning for your life. I think a lot of things happen in life. We lose jobs, we lose family members, we lose boyfriends and girlfriends, husbands and wives, we lose children. Things change. We have to move, we have to retool, we have to re educate ourselves, we have to do so many different things in life. And I just want to talk to you just to make sure that you understand that all change is not negative change, that things happen in life. That's what life is all about. It's about a series of transitions. It's about moving from one job to another job, one relationship to another relationship, one living situation to another living situation. It's about change. And often, even though that change seems like the worst possible thing that can happen to you, it can actually be something wonderful if we can just open our minds up to the fact that there's treasure in the trash. You know, sometimes you feel like you're going through a really rough spot. Believe me, I know. I have dealt with a lot in my life, as we all have. I mean, I've been through it all, and I'm here to tell you that even though all those things happened to me, I'm still standing. You know, you cannot allow the vicissitudes of life to crush you. That, there's treasure in the trash. There's treasure in that trash. I tell people all the time that life is never going to be exactly what we want it to be, but we can change how we respond to those events. We've all gone through changes, but I can tell you from personal experience that a lot of those changes have been positive. They didn't look positive at the time. At one point in my life, I had a very lucrative career working for a very large organization, and that career ended for reasons that I won't go into now. But at the time, I was devastated. I was absolutely devastated. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to move forward. I didn't know what was going to happen. That loss, in my mind, meant that I was going to lose everything because everything that I had built up in my life was tied directly to my job. My home, my car, all of my belongings, my social standing, my wealth, all of those things that I thought were so important were all tied directly to my job. And when my job ended, I really thought my life was going to end. I could not see the path forward. I became lethargic, inactive, and just overwhelmingly just despondent and depressed. I mean, there's no other way to put it. But it's so funny because even though I lost that job, it opened up a world of opportunity for me. That thing that I thought was so horrible, so horrific, that thing that I thought was going to literally kill me, transformed me. It elevated me. It made me who I am today. As a matter of fact, I can say with complete honesty that if I hadn't lost that opportunity, there's no way in the world that I ever would have started this channel. There's absolutely no way. I was living in a completely different state, living a completely different life. And there's just no way in the world I ever would have started with YouTube. There's no way I would have built this business. There's no way I would have done any of those things. And since that time, I've grown financially, I've grown intellectually. I mean, my name and my face is known throughout the world now, all because one person thought that they had the power to end my future. That person thought that I was going to end up homeless or dead, I'm sure, because that person understood how closely my entire life was tied to my job. They knew that my life was my job. And I'll tell you something, it took me a long time to realize that that's why I lost it. Because there was no room in my life for anything else. I was just caught up in trying to be the poster child for this occupation. You know, I just thought I was it. I was the shit. I was the best there was in my field. I was making a lot of money, you know, and I say a lot of money, it's all relative, you know. I was doing well, you know. I wasn't suffering. I wasn't worried about paying my bills. When I went to the store, I didn't worry about how much things cost. You know, I wasn't balling. I wasn't making millions of dollars a year, but I was comfortable. And like I was comfortable for the first time in my life, like really comfortable, where I wasn't stressed out about money. And it felt so good. It felt so good, and I was considered a professional and a leader in my field, and I just thought, gosh, this is it. This is the life. You know, I finally made it, right? People are looking to me for guidance and support in this area. You know, I've done it. I've accomplished it. I've climbed the mountain. And I was just so wrong. I was just dead wrong. Like, I had no idea what God had in store for me. No idea. There's no way I could have ever fathomed all the things that I've done and become since that time. Had I continued on that trajectory, I don't know what my life would have been, but it certainly would not have been what it's become today. You would never have heard of Sheryl Spinks. I can promise you that. My life has been so different since that time, guys. I have expanded myself in terms of my career. I've become licensed and certified in, 3 or 4 different areas. I've moved to a bigger, nicer home than I was in before. I literally doubled the size of my house. I was living in one size house. I'm now living in twice that size of a house. I doubled or tripled my income. I got rid of people in my life that really had no business being in my life. Haters and frenemies and people who were doing nothing but bringing me down. I got rid of all those people. I let them go. Not so much because I had this newfound strength. I did it out of necessity. When you're drowning, you can't have someone holding on to your neck trying to pull you down. So I had to let those people go. And I just decided just to have like a freight train mentality and say, you know, if you're not with me, you can't be with me. Period. If you're not with me, you can't be with me. Period. I let them go. And in that loss, I gained an entirely new life. And I'm here to tell you today that there's treasure in the trash. That just because things look like crap, okay, it doesn't mean that it's going to stay that way. Don't judge the soup until it's done. I'm going off on a weird tangent. I'm sorry. But I'm serious. Like, I mean, that's another way to look at it. If you think about if you've ever made a really good soup from scratch, you know, you start off with, water or some kind of a base, and then you slowly build the soup up. But if you bother to taste that soup in the beginning, it might not taste like much. You might even be encouraged to throw the whole thing away and start over. But I'm telling you, don't do that. Go through the changes and see what God has for you, because he might have something incredible for you. So I'm just telling myself this, and I'm telling you this to tell you to not give up, to understand that we all have rainy days. We all have days when we feel like it is storming outside and it's never going to end. We all have gone through situations where you can't see what's in front of you. You can't see the path forward. You don't even know if there is a path. But at the same time, I know in my heart that the Lord has always sustained me. All of these years, through all of the madness and all of my insanity. And trust me, there's been a lot of it. And God has sustained me through all of it. And I know that he has me. I know he has me in the palm of his hand. But I'm just here to tell you that he has you too. He has you too. And that even though it's raining right now, even though it's storming outside, even though we can't see the path forward, we don't know how we're going to make it, we don't know if we're going to make it, if you just hang on, if you don't let go, if you keep moving forward, if you keep your faith, that you will be okay, that you're going to get through this time. The storm is not going to last forever. I promise you it's not. We just have to believe what it says in Proverbs, that God is keeping us. And I'm just asking you through this time to keep your spirit safe and sheltered. No matter what happens to you physically, don't lose your faith. No matter what happens to your money, don't lose your faith. No matter what happens to your job, what happens to your family, what happens to your relationships, try not to lose your faith, because your faith is the one thing that can pull you through all of it. It's the one thing that can keep you above water. And even though it's raining outside, and even though it's storming outside, and the hail is falling down, and you feel like your life is falling apart, just know that God is still God. He hasn't fallen off the throne, as they like to say. He's still in control of himself, of this universe, and most importantly, of you. And just know that you are going to be all right. You're going to be okay. You're going to get through this time. And not only that, guess what? There's a really good chance that you may come out better on the other side of this. That just like me, you may find your own rainbow and your own bright future. So keep your head up, keep your spirits up, and most importantly, keep your faith up. No matter what happens, guys, just keep pushing forward. And I promise you, you will get through your rainy days. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care.